Hashtag say her name. Tanisha Anderson, Natasha McKenna, Sharice Francis, Myra Hill. These names may mean nothing to you, but by the end of the speech, you will know who they are. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, and visitor. These are the names of Black women killed by law enforcement. We are living in a time where there seems to be more division, misunderstanding, and miscommunication. If we, as a nation, ever want to come together instead of standing apart, we must learn to debate, discuss, and even disagree while being better informed. The sensitivities of social issues will not escape us. We cannot change what we will not face. During my studies as a sociology major minoring in women and gender studies, I've been exposed to information, concepts, and theories as it relates to race, class, and gender. Yes, I am a feminist. And in looking at feminist issues, it's not just about the issues that affect women, but really issues that affect all marginalized people. How appropriate at this particular time in history to take the information that I'm receiving from outside resources like the media, academia, and my own research to become well-informed on the issues. Say Her Name responds to increasing calls for attention to police violence against Black women by offering a resource to help ensure that Black women's stories are integrated into demands for justice, policy responses to police violence, and media representation of victims and survivors of police brutality. In our first image here, you can see that Black women are disproportionately killed by police officers, even though they only make up 13% of the female population. Now, as I look at this data and information, and I see the validity for the Say Her Name movement, I learned something interesting, a theory about intersectionality. It took me several semesters to really get it. And as I dug deeper into the issues of the Say Her Name movement, I saw intersectionality at play. The theory of intersectionality was introduced by Kimberly Crenshaw, a UCLA School of Law and Columbia Law School professor. Intersectionality is looking at how oppression and marginalization of groups of people affect them in different layers. As you can see here from the image, there's gender, race, education, age, income, and even sexual orientation. We cannot look at one particular area. We have to look at all, because in some way or another, they overlap. A most recent example of this was seen in the victims of Daniel Holtzclaw, an Oklahoma City police officer that was just recently charged with 18 of 36 counts of sexual battery, rape, and forcible sodomy. All victims, excluding one man, were Black women. Now, despite the number of women involved in this case, it was barely covered by the media. These statistics show that of the 548 cases prosecuted over a 3-year period, over half of the police officers used their power, position of power, to sexually take advantage of women. The commonality of all of Holtzclaw's victims as it relates to intersectionality is that they were all Black, from low-income neighborhoods. Some were addicts, some were prostitutes. This is what Kimberly Crenshaw says makes them most vulnerable. The commonality between the names of the women at the beginning of my speech is that they're all Black. They all had a mental health illness. Some were transgender. Most of them were from low-income neighborhoods. Now, we've heard the names of Black men who have been killed from police brutality on the news and on social media. Yet the names of these women go unheard. And I wanted to understand why the lives of these women were not part of a narrative in this country. Did it have anything to do with their social identities? Intersectionality would say yes. In closing, we know what we know because it's all we want to know. But if we want to know why Black men are killed at a higher rate or incarcerated at a higher rate, we can find that out. If we want to know why Black women are now victims of police brutality and we don't hear their stories, we can find that out too. If we want to know more, it is our personal responsibility to seek out the resources and become informed. It is only in finding out the stories behind the stories that we can then